Jim Bird from Safe Harbor Financial is back with us on Studio 10 for some more financial planning and advice. Jim, great to see you.
Good to see you, Joe.
Now, in the last thing that we did, we talked about what happens if you're going through a divorce, and we're taking a look at another real-life situation today. That's what if you inherit an IRA from the death of a family member? What can you tell us about this, Jim?
Well, Joe, you know, most people think that if it's an inherited IRA, it's just like transferring when a spouse dies, it goes to the other spouse, you know, and it's a tax-free transfer over into that. But in particular instance, this couple had an inherited IRA, and they were going through a bankruptcy. So they thought it would be immune from the bankruptcy. It was $300,000 that they had inherited, and so they just put the money in the bank account and spent it. Well, the courts ruled against them. That, you know, that did not qualify as a quadro, a qualified domestic relation order. It wasn't set up properly, and the court said that since it was no longer a qualified retirement plan, once it transferred over to them, they have free access to it. It wasn't set aside just for retirement, so they ruled that it was a distribution.
Okay, so how did filing for bankruptcy come into play there? Well,
normally, you know, filing for bankruptcy, it can be exempt. The qualified retirement plan can be exempt from that, but in this particular case, the courts ruled that it wasn't a qualified retirement plan anymore because they had free access to the money. So they said that it was considered a distribution, which is fully taxable.
All right, so do inherited IRAs have a specific exemption under bankruptcy codes?
Yes, they does. And if they're set up properly and they come under a quadro order, court order. See, when a court orders something like that happen, a quadro is not normally it doesn't qualify for a tax exemption. But it's how you distribute the monies, and that's what we were talking about in the first show also. So in this case there, the people who, a retirement plan that was inherited does not come under that because the court says that you have free access to the money. You and I, our retirement plans, we don't have access to the money. We know that it's going to be penalized. We can transfer, but we can't take distribution.
You need to be able to set this up and do this properly so you can avoid these problems in the future. So where should someone contemplating bankruptcy, if unfortunately you're in that situation, where should these people go?
Well, they need a qualified bankruptcy lawyer or an attorney that, like we have, Jim Roberts, that's knowledgeable in those. I'm not knowledgeable, and I'm not giving legal advice here. This is just general information. But you need to get a qualified attorney and look at that before you do it. Just don't assume that you know how it works, because you could find yourself in a tax situation and heavy penalties, and the penalties could be pretty heavy. In this case, in this particular instance, they waived the 20% penalty because a legal advisor had told them, not a legal advisor, but a tax advisor had told them to do it this way, and even though it was wrong, so they didn't charge them the 20% penalty.
So if you're maybe inheriting an IRA in the future, or if you're going through bankruptcy, or if both are tied together, there's lots of different life situations you can get in when it comes to finances. The folks at Safe Harbor Financial can help you get through all of it.
That's why we call it comprehensive financial planning. We do legal, tax, as well as investment planning.
All right, thanks a lot, Jim. You can find all their contact information on our website, the Studio 10 tab at fox10tv.com.